Every morning I wake up and I'm like, I just want this nightmare to go away.
She fought cancer. She survived. Then she lost everything. A woman sits down at her computer to log into her bank account. 4 hours later, she's handing $17,500 in cash to a stranger at her front door. That's not a plot hole. That's exactly how this worked. And it was designed to. Here on Love or Lie, we cover the stories nobody wants to sit with. This is one of them. Stick with me on this one. We don't know her name. She asked not to use it, not because she's ashamed, but because she's scared it'll happen again. What we do know, she's a woman who fought cancer. She beat it. And part of what she had set aside, the money from an insurance policy meant to cover her medical bills, that's what ended up in a stranger's hands. Think about that for a second. You go through something as brutal as cancer treatment. You survive. You come out the other side with a little financial cushion, something to protect you if your body starts fighting you again. And then one ordinary Tuesday morning, you sit down to check your bank account, and someone takes it. She wasn't reckless. She wasn't naive in the way people assume when they hear scam victim. She was a regular person having a regular morning, and she got hit by something built specifically to fool regular people. It starts the way it always starts. Boring, frustrating, normal. She tries to log into her bank account online, password, username, the usual. But the site won't let her in. Account's not loading.
I put in my password and username and got to the website, but it wouldn't let me open my account.
So she picks up her phone and calls the number she already has saved for her bank. A woman picks up and tells her, "Your account's been frozen." She asks why. There was a suspicious charge from PayPal from yesterday for $82.
She says, oh, your account's been frozen. And I said, why? And she said, well, there was a suspicious charge from PayPal.
She didn't make that charge. Obviously, she wants it fixed. So the woman on the phone transfers her to what she's told is the PayPal fraud department. The call quality is terrible, so she hangs up and calls back a Florida number she somehow ends up with. And this is where it locks in. The man on the phone is calm, professional. He's got her account information in front of him, or at least that's how it feels. He explains the $82 charge, tells her they can reverse it, but she needs to follow some steps. She follows the steps, she downloads what she's told to download, and then she types in $82 to initiate the refund, and her screen shows $18,000.
I typed $82, and I immediately looked up to the screen, and it says $18,000. And then it goes, accept, 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 just like that.
I immediately looked up to the screen, and it says $18,000. And then it goes, accept, accept, just like that. And I said to this man, that's wrong. That's not what I typed in. That's a mistake.
And I said to this man, I said, that's wrong. I said, that's not what I typed in. I said, that's a mistake.
She's right. It is wrong, but not in the way she thinks. What actually happened, what she had no way of knowing in that moment, is that the scammer used the remote access software she just downloaded to move money from her savings account into her checking account. There was no $18,000 deposit. It was her own money, shuffled between her own accounts, made to look like an overpayment error. Now she owes money back. That's the hook. Here's where it gets almost mechanical in how well it was built. She's hesitant.
What you have to do to fix it is you have to get cash, go to your bank and get cash.
Something feels off, but then her printer starts going, and out comes a letter. Bank of America logo at the top. Official-looking language. It says there's a serious matter concerning her account. An unresolved tax issue tied to that PayPal transaction. Online transfers are temporarily blocked by the IRS. And then, this line, this specific line that the scammer knew she needed to read. We have not notified your local branch. It is crucial you refrain from discussing this transaction with them. Doing so may lead to freezing or seizing all funds in your account. That letter came out of her own printer. He sent it through the remote access software while she was on the phone with him. He just eliminated the one safeguard that could have stopped everything. A real person at her real bank asking real questions. She stays on the phone. He tells her she needs to go to the bank, withdraw $17,500 in cash, and bring it home. He tells her she can keep $500 for her trouble. She's been on this call for over 4 hours at this point. He kept saying, don't hang up on me. Don't hang up.
He kept saying, don't hang up on me, don't hang up.
She didn't. She drove to the bank. She went to the window. The bank manager came over, and here's the moment where this could have ended differently. He looked at her and asked, "Before we proceed, are you being harassed?" I'm like, "No, I'm not being pressured because I didn't think I was. I didn't know I was being scammed."
The bank manager came over and he said, "Before we proceed," he said, "Are you being harassed?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not being pressured," because I didn't think I was. I didn't know I was being scammed.
She signed a document saying she was withdrawing the money of her own free will. She walked out with $17,500 in cash. She drove home. Another letter printed, this one thanking her for returning the funds to PayPal. It told her a Mr. Jack had been assigned to collect the cash. Not long after, the doorbell camera caught him. A man walked up to her front door. She handed him the envelope. $17,500 gone. Then she called her daughters to tell them about her long day. Before I could hardly get this story out of my mouth, and I was like, "Mom, you've been scammed."
Before I could hardly get this story out of my mouth, I was like, "Mom, you've been scammed."
The money she lost wasn't just savings, it was cancer money. The insurance payout she had specifically set aside to cover medical bills, because when you've had cancer, you know your body might come for you again, and you want to be ready. That buffer is gone. She came forward, without her name, without her face, because she wanted people to know this exists. That's who she is.
What I want people to know is just because you're tired that day, don't let your defenses down.
She got taken for $17,500, and her first instinct was to protect strangers from the same thing. What I want people to know is just because you're tired that day, don't let your defenses down. She was tired. She had a frustrating morning. She trusted a process that had been specifically engineered to feel trustworthy. The fake letter. The 4-hour call. The "don't tell your bank" instruction that neutralized the one person who asked if something was wrong. None of this was random. Someone built this to work on people exactly like her. The man who came to her door, she later saw his mugshot in the news. She recognized him immediately. His name is Zhang. He's been charged with obtaining property under false pretenses. A second suspect is also facing charges in Durham and Granville counties, obtaining property under false pretenses, accessing computers, felony conspiracy. Both are in the Person County Detention Center. Both, according to the sheriff, are in this country without legal permission. The North Carolina FBI and the Department of Homeland Security are now involved, working to find more victims and more suspects. The sheriff said the total amount scammed across all victims is close to $400,000. And that's just what they know about. These operations run across multiple counties, multiple states. The people running them rotate cash mules. The person who shows up at your door is almost never the same person on the phone. This particular scam, the fake bank freeze, the remote access software, the printed letter, it's called a bank impersonation scam. And the FTC says Americans lost over $1.1 billion to impersonation scams in a single year. The reason it keeps working is that it's not about stupidity, it's about time pressure, official-looking materials, and being kept on the phone long enough that your brain stops questioning and starts complying. 4 hours is not an accident. That's a strategy. Bank of America said they're investigating and couldn't comment. The bank manager asked if she was being pressured. She said no. He let her walk out. That's where the system failed her. And it's not the first time a bank has done exactly that. As of the time this report aired, the two suspects were still in custody at the Person County Detention Center with DHS detainers in place. Her $17,500 has not been recovered. Bank of America's investigation was ongoing with no public resolution. Whether she'll ever see that money again, the cancer money, the safety net she built for herself after surviving something most people don't, that's unknown. What she said she wanted was for someone else to not go through this. That's it. She survived cancer. She did everything right. She set money aside. She stayed careful. She built herself a small cushion against whatever came next. And then someone spent 4 hours on the phone with her, printed a fake letter from her own printer, sent a man to her front door, and took it. And the part that stays with me? The bank manager looked her in the eye and asked the right question. She just didn't know she needed to say yes. I'm Jack. If this story made you want to call someone in your family today, do it. Forward this to whoever needs to see it. There's another story next week. I'll see you then.